Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live stream today. We will be interviewing Sean Monfero, a local filmmaker here in Winnipeg.
Recording. In 3, 2, 1, and action.
Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my god! Hi, Jess.
Shara?
Iris, play Shatter Crush by Ethan Langen.
Playing Shatter Crush by Ethan Langen.
Flower is this one here, which is a carnation.
What does red look like again?
It's not that one.
Not that one?
No.
Not this one.
No, what are you doing?
Hi, Sean.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing great. So today we will be going through and watching three of your films that you've made over the years and just going and talking about them and your experience as a filmmaker overall. So actually, the first film that we will be checking out today of yours is the film Iris.
Yes. Can't wait.
Iris, can you turn on the lights? And close the door. Iris, play Shatter Crush by Ethan Langen.
Playing Shatter Crush by Ethan Langen.
Hey Iris, what's a 5-letter word for monkey?
Jim.
Chip. How did I not think of that? Iris, how exactly do we make chocolate chip cookies?
The main ingredients are flour, salt, sugar, butter, egg, and vanilla.
Wow, that is uber complicated. How about let's order a bacon cheeseburger deluxe from the Rivard Deli. But no tip. Save money.
Bavard's Deli order confirmed. Ethan, wake up! Ethan, wake up!
Iris, what's happening?
Ethan, there's an intruder outside.
Iris, just literally lock everything. We should be fine.
Locking all doors now.
Iris?
You are not connected to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, hell no.
To use your Iris, please connect to the internet. To use your
Iris, what are you
Iris,
doing?
please
It's like
connect
call
to
the
the
cops or
internet.
something.
To use your Iris,
Being
please
so
connect to the
loud.
internet.
Please shut up. I
To
can
use
hear
your
it. Get
Iris,
closer.
please connect to the
Stop.
internet.
Stop. Be
To
quiet.
use your
I
Iris,
can
please
hear
connect to
it.
the internet.
Oh my god!
That was a great film. So, out of curiosity, why did you choose to make the film?
So, like, just this film?
Yeah, that one specific.
So, making this film, it wasn't really a short film at first. It was more so a submission to a competition. We heard from our teachers that was called the What's Your Story competition by Trend Micro. And it had the grand prize of $10,000. And so immediately we knew that we just had to get into it. And we being a group of four, being me, Evan Rivard, Ethan Langett, and Carol Jazz Cruz, we all collaborated together and made this really cool, super nice film. And surprisingly, we made a top winning film and got the grand prize of Well, actually, sorry, second grand prize because there's a second place, a third place, and we got the second grand prize for that, and we all got $5,000, not each, but split between us all. So yeah, it was awesome.
Well, congratulations. That's a
Thank you.
really big accomplishment, especially just as a filmmaker. Um, I was curious on what went into creating the visual effects for Iris.
So when creating Iris, all of it was done in After Effects. That was something I did by myself. It was really, really confusing at first because honestly, I am not skilled in After Effects whatsoever. And really, all it took was a lot of YouTube tutorials, a lot of Google image searching, and just a little bit of creativity, just playing around with all the different sorts of effects they have in After Effects and trying to make it as real as possible.
Well, I think it turned out really good considering YouTube tutorials.
Yes.
They always work so well.
Oh, yeah.
So you were saying you did this as a group, as a team of four. Can you tell me about your experience working as a team?
Yeah, for sure. Working with this team in particular was definitely something I've never experienced before, for sure. I mean, beforehand, getting into the group, I was definitely afraid of how we were gonna work together as well, because I've never really worked in like big group settings, more than two. But I think working in this group, it's been really eye-opening because we have so many different skills and different things we do. It's just so refreshing getting to know more about what you can do here just from someone else's voice and having two other people to back it up as well. So it's really good experience.
That's amazing. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
So the next film we're going to be watching is your mockumentary called Ethan.
Yes. Woo.
This is Ethan. Ethan is a 17-year-old who is way too anxious to make any friends. In other words, Ethan is a loser. There isn't a single day where Ethan finds himself alone, watching very creepily the people around him, and yet Ethan absolutely loathes this feeling, but doesn't do anything about it. Either one, he's just very lazy, or two, has a very, very dark secret that he could never tell anybody about. Or three, just as most coming-of-age post-pubescent teens are, too cool. Spoiler, he's just way too nervous. A long, long time ago, Ethan used to be a very active individual on Twitter, creating tweets that most would consider offensive, but to him, it was art. Until one day, Ethan got banned. In this day and age, getting banned meant death. All of his followers out the window, but he thought to himself, maybe instead of Twitter, I can make a friend. And for Ethan, this was the hardest thing to do. And although there were many opportunities for him, it was way too difficult.
Oh, thanks, man. I just dropped that right
And
now.
I mean difficult.
What the hell? Weird kid.
This was one setback of many opportunities, and it definitely did not stop him from trying.
Oh my god, this is so cool. Where'd you get this?
Unfortunately, with all these setbacks, Ethan realized he wasn't cut out for this at all, until just now. Someone just as anxious as Ethan, and in their post-pubescent state, came to the table. His name, Jeremy. A cooler Ethan, because he had shades. And from then on, they became best friends. They ate their go-go squeezes together every day, sat together every day, and shared their fan fictions together every day. A week after their friendship had flourished, Ethan had murdered Jeremy. Now, Ethan's back to square one, but at least this time, he has some pretty cool shades.
That was a really funny film to me.
Thank
But
you.
I've got to address this though. Why did you decide to incorporate the plot twist at the end?
Oh, okay. Well, I know in a lot of films at the time there were most of the time when students make short films, it kind of just gets like it's just a really long narrow line of just plot, and it kind of feels bittersweet at the end. So I wanted to feel a little bit more different. I wanted to change up the story, and so I decided to murder Jeremy in that. So yeah, that's kind of how I decided to make that happen.
Makes sense because the first time I watched it, I was completely shocked. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what we're going for, and I'm glad it worked out for you. So,
Well, that's
okay.
perfect. So a mockumentary's been done before, but for this specific one, where'd you get the idea? Did it just come one day randomly or?
So, this is the idea of a mockumentary at the time came from a lot of the assignments we were doing in grade 11, in my grade 11 film class, where we would do a bunch of different types of uh, filming techniques or filming themes, I guess, or genres. And doing a documentary slash mockumentary was something that I was kind of interested in at the time. And so I was like, you know what? I've never really tried something in like this sort of sense. So I was like, let's go for it. Let's try something new. And so that's kind of how it started. And the whole story of just telling his life through a voiceover and we getting to see him be lonely basically kind of just came from just normal experiences, I guess. It's like not exactly like normal experiences, but it's just what I would imagine someone feeling they're lonesome would kind of have in the back of their head, like just this talking thing behind them and just narrating their whole life right then and there. Yeah.
Would you consider making a mockumentary again?
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely the very first mockumentary I've ever made. So definitely, yes, it was rough, I'd like to say. And if I ever got the opportunity to make another one, I go way into it. I go full send.
That's awesome. So now we're going to kind of shift genres and watch your CBC documentary called Teen Computer Whiz Saves Researchers Decades of Processing Time. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Dylan's room. It has always been Dylan's room. Sort of messy because we left it sort of the way he had it, which was messy, disorganized.
When he started to understand that I was losing friends to cancer and his grandparents battled cancer, he had said to me from probably 8 years old and on, I don't want to die of cancer.
Him going into the tech side was definitely not a surprise. My dad's very into building computers, and it was something that he did from our childhood.
I would have Dylan literally on my lap while I was doing virus scan, so he was exposed to it right from the get-go.
Dylan was the type of student who needed that extra sort of project to really shine. And Dylan approached me and he said, Mr. Esposito, remember that small project we did in grade 9, hooked up our computers and were able to bring in scientific data from around the world, and then our computers went through that data and then sent them back the final product? And I said, yeah. He's like, well, what are the servers doing in the back of the classroom?
World Community Grid can be thought of as a large computing platform dedicated to supporting scientific research that benefit humanity, which communicates with millions of devices around the globe. And the complex scientific tasks are reduced to smaller pieces that are sent to these volunteer machines or devices. And after computation is finished, the devices send it back to the servers that combine the information and send it to the collaborating research groups.
The more processing power that you can produce, the more cancer data that you can go through. He was actually able to contribute tens of years of advanced data the scientific community was looking for.
We were doing a lot of remote learning, lots of time on the computer, and he was having some issues with his arm, so we had gone to the doctor. They had looked at it and they were like, okay, here, take some, anti-inflammatories. If the swelling doesn't go down, then we'll revisit it. It did not go down, it continued to get worse. The doctor was like, it's cancer.
Unfortunately, Ewing's hides. It can be hiding in your body for quite some time before you actually know it's there. And unless you end up with a pronounced tumor, you wouldn't know that you had it. So until he had his
pronounced tumor,
we would have never known.
Unfortunately, with Ewing sarcoma, once you get past stage 2, the survivability rates dramatically drop. So, an extra 5 months beyond the expected time frame, we were blessed.
It never stopped him from doing what he loved. He pushed through everything, all the pain, all the suffering. He was always playing games. He was always active in his communities, and he continued to keep tabs on how the research was doing, seeing if there was something he could do remotely to fix it. He never lost the passion for his projects despite being terminally ill. He was always involved.
And when Dylan passed away, it was a very quiet time.
Mr. Esposito had a plaque made with Dylan's picture, and it hangs in the room. That means a lot to us because I know that was a huge thing for him, that he liked to work that project. The fact that, that people can see that that's what he did and that they remember that he was working on that is amazing.
Dylan Bucci's involvement really sparked interest beyond the borders. So the legacy of Dylan is really living in all of the current and future students.
Yeah, if he was still around, I think he definitely would have kept pushing towards doing stuff for cancer research. I definitely think he would have probably finished every single computer course that Sisler offered and probably kept going as far as he could. He loved computers and he wanted nothing more but to work with them for the rest of his life.
So let me start off with, why did you choose to make this specific story about Dylan?
So at first, I'm gonna go a bit back in time here. Coming into Create, we had to come up with different CBC documentary ideas, and I didn't really have an idea at first because I was not really involved with a lot of people. I wasn't really known of a lot of people's stories and what they've done in our communities or anything like that. But at the time, Mr. Fowler, Mr. DL approached me, my two film teachers, and asked me if I wanted an idea that they had already pitched to CBC, and they needed someone to actually take that idea and make it a reality, basically. And so I was like, yeah, absolutely. And as soon as they told me the story and who it was for and who it was based on, I knew right then and there it was something I definitely wanted to do, because it was a story that needed to be told, and it was something that was swept under the rug because of how small the person is and how small the city is and how big of an impact it was in general. It was a story that just needed to be told. So that's kind of how I decided, yes, I wanted to do it.
That's really sweet. What was it like going from these more funny comedic short films to something more serious of a documentary like this one?
It was definitely really terrifying, for sure. I mean, to showcase someone's legacy after they passed away and be able to talk with people that cared so much about him and have them open up to you, it was something so different to me. And I was worried the entire process, the entire time, that I felt like I was gonna ruin his story by making something that wasn't something that wasn't just like I just felt like I couldn't do it at the time. So it was just really scary to do. And coming from a more comedic side of having fun and just having a blast with my friends, it was definitely a challenge to convert or adapt to the types of the genre, I guess, or the story.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
I've been in similar shoes before. Um, so tell me about your experience working on this film and like with talking to his family and everything.
So talking to Dylan's family was very scary at first, but even during the whole emailing back and forth stage before the interview, they were so nice. They were such an amazing family, and it was really, really scary just preparing myself to meet them for the first time face to face. Even though all their emails and calls back and forth with me were also welcoming and warm-hearted, it was terrifying just to see them face to face and have them talk about their son who had passed away. It was scary, but even after the interview, we talked and we basically just found it more comfortable being around each other, I guess. I feel like we connected after those interviews and after the back and forth talks. We're definitely more, I guess, comfortable with each other. But besides that, I think working on this film was very, very different from anything I've ever done, for sure. Yeah.
Would you do something like this again?
Maybe not the subject. I'm just joking. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think people's stories, especially ones like these, are things that need to be heard. And I think that it's so important to get their voices out, that if anyone ever needed someone to help realize that vision or that uh, just idea of what the person has done, I want to be someone who can be there and be reliable to achieve something. Basically, what I'm trying to say is yes, yes, I would absolutely love to continue doing this.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. After creating all of these projects, how do you think your skills have grown over the years?
Oh, they've grown wildly, for sure. Ever since that mockumentary, I've just nonstop been doing films. Uh, um, and yeah, I mean, even coming into this year into Sister Create, the post-high program, even beforehand, even having this set of skills of just basic filmmaking, it was so eye-opening when I got into the first day of this program and we immediately got into this boot camp of just like film stuff and what we should know, what we should learn, all this camera stuff. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. But after a while, it was so it was just so awesome, this experience here. And I think I've grown so much as a person and as a filmmaker at the same time, just being around all these incredible people, incredible filmmakers. And yeah.
Now I want to ask you more about the Sister Create program itself. So what is the Sister Create program?
So the Sister Create program is really a program that helps a lot of students get their way into the industry of their choosing, or like creative arts, I guess. It definitely helps them prepare for a future job in said industry. If it be let it be like film, animation, 3D animation, game design, all sorts of stuff. It's open to anyone as long as they're below the age of 21, of course. And it's free. It was a free program for a lot of us, and it was something I like to say it was very life-changing. So it's a good, I think it's a good start for a lot of people if they ever wanted to follow their dream into the creative arts, I'd like to say.
Definitely. What has your personal experience been like in the program?
My personal?
Mhm.
So I've been in this program technically all throughout high school. So it's been a good 4 years and this year as well. So far it's been something I feel has been so worth doing, I guess. It's not every day you get to do something because you like it. It's always just about getting into a job that pays well or just like fulfilling whatever your parents want you to do. But doing something along the lines of filmmaking or anything like creative, being in this program has helped me discover what I really like to do. And so it's it's just such an amazing program that I genuinely can't ever go back in time and just decide not to do it. So yes, my personal growth in this program has been awesome, and I would not have changed anything.
That's awesome. Out of curiosity, what is your favorite project that you worked on or been a part of in the program?
Oh, okay. I think as of right now, it isn't some sort of short film. It isn't some sort of like documentary or anything like that. It was this year in December when me and my friend Ethan were the social media managers for our Instagram account, Cinema Rolls on Instagram, Cinema Rolls. Yeah, when we were the media managers, I came up with the idea of doing this like 12 days of Christmas thing, and he said that we should involve everyone, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so once we started getting everyone involved in it, it was such a fun little experience that was just it was just something really fun to do. I mean, we went to school every day and we just shot whatever we felt like doing, and we just had a blast doing it. And so I felt like that's my favorite part about the program so far, because it was exactly what I wanted to do, I guess, in a way, as a filmmaker. And yeah.
That's awesome. So overall, would you recommend the Sisler program to anyone?
Absolutely, hands down, for sure. If anyone ever wanted to get into the filmmaking side, animation side, 3D animation side, coding side, I absolutely would guarantee they would find a future in this program for sure.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean, for joining us today on the
Absolutely.
stream and talking about your experience overall over the years. To check out Sean's Instagram and YouTube, here are the links. And I hope everyone has an amazing day. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for letting me do this with you guys.